There comes a moment in a person's life when they finally stop and ask themselves one terrifying question. What am I actually chasing? Not what society told them to chase, not what social media glorified, not what the world programmed into their minds since childhood, but what they truly want. Because many people spend their entire lives running toward money, toward status, toward approval, toward a future they believe will finally make them feel free. And yet, the closer they get to wealth, the more trapped they become. More responsibilities, more pressure, more anxiety, more fear of losing everything they worked for. And slowly, without even realizing it, they become prisoners of the very thing they believed would save them. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They knew something modern society desperately tries to ignore. A person who cannot control their desires will never truly be free, not even if they own the entire world. Because freedom is not about how much you possess. Freedom is about how little possesses you. And tonight, we're going to uncover the dangerous illusion behind modern success. We're going to talk about money, ambition, status, desire, fear, and the hidden psychological chains keeping millions of people emotionally exhausted. This is not a message against wealth. It is a message against slavery disguised as success. Because the truth is, most people are not chasing wealth. They are chasing emotional escape. They believe money will finally silence their insecurities, their fears, their emptiness, their self-doubt. But the Stoics warned us, external possessions can never fix internal chaos. And if you do not master your mind first, no amount of money will ever feel like enough. So tonight, sit quietly and listen carefully, because this conversation may completely change the way you see success forever. Most people spend their lives believing freedom is something they will experience later. Later, when they make more money. Later, when they buy the dream house. Later, when they finally become successful. But later never arrives, because desire has no finish line. The human mind is dangerous in this way. The moment it gets one thing, it immediately wants something bigger, a better car, a bigger house, more status, more validation, more attention, and society rewards this addiction. The world constantly tells you, you are not enough yet, not rich enough, not attractive enough, not important enough. So people keep running, and running, and running. But here is the terrifying part. Many people do not even know why they are running anymore. They wake up tired, work jobs they hate, sacrifice their peace, ignore their health, destroy their relationships, all for a future that keeps moving further away. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Poor is not the man who is too little, but the man who craves more." Think about that. A billionaire can still feel poor inside. A famous person can still feel empty. A successful person can still feel trapped. Because emotional poverty has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with endless craving. And modern society has built an entire system around keeping people dissatisfied, because dissatisfied people consume more. They work more, spend more, compare more, fear more. The modern world profits from your insecurity. That is why silence feels uncomfortable to many people, because silence forces you to confront yourself. And many people are terrified of being alone with their own mind, so they distract themselves endlessly. Notifications, entertainment, shopping, luxury, social media, anything to avoid the uncomfortable truth. They have become disconnected from themselves. The Stoics believe that peace begins the moment you stop depending on external things for internal stability. And this idea is revolutionary today, because society teaches the exact opposite. It teaches people to build identity through possessions. What do you own? How much do you make? How impressive is your lifestyle? But Stoicism asks a completely different question. Who are you without those things? Can you still feel peace without applause? Can you still feel worthy without validation? Can you still feel calm without luxury? Because if the answer is no, then your happiness was never yours to begin with. It belonged to the world, and the world can take it away at any moment. One of the greatest lies ever sold to humanity is the idea that more money automatically creates more freedom. Sometimes it does, but many times, It simply creates more sophisticated chains. The wealthy businessman who cannot sleep, the entrepreneur who cannot stop working, the celebrity terrified of losing relevance, the employee trapped in a lifestyle they cannot afford to maintain. From the outside, they look successful. Inside, many are exhausted, because wealth without inner control often multiplies anxiety instead of removing it. The Stoics understood that attachment creates fear. The more emotionally attached you become to external things, the more terrified you become of losing them, and fear destroys peace. Think about how many people cannot relax anymore. Even during vacations, their mind is still racing, thinking about work, competition, money, deadlines, status. Their body rests, but their mind remains imprisoned. That is not freedom. That is mental slavery with expensive decorations. True freedom begins when your peace no longer depends on circumstances, when your identity is not controlled by success or failure, when your emotional state is not controlled by public opinion. This is why Stoicism is so powerful, because it teaches emotional independence, not emotional numbness. Independence. There's a difference. The Stoics did not reject wealth. They rejected dependence. You can own possessions, but the moment possessions begin owning your mind, you lose your freedom. And this happens slowly, almost invisibly. People begin sacrificing time for status, health for money, peace for approval, and eventually, they wake up one day emotionally drained, wondering why success still feels empty. Because deep down, the soul does not crave endless consumption. It craves meaning, connection, purpose, peace, and no amount of luxury can replace inner stability. Imagine a person stranded in the middle of the ocean, drinking salt water. The more they drink, the thirstier they become. This is exactly how endless desire works. The more a person depends on external achievements for happiness, the emptier they often feel inside, because temporary pleasure is not the same as fulfillment. Modern society confuses stimulation with happiness, but stimulation fades quickly. That expensive purchase, that luxury experience, that moment of attention online, it excites the mind briefly, then disappears. And the cycle begins again. More chasing, more craving, more dissatisfaction. This is why so many people feel emotionally exhausted today. Not because they lack opportunities, but because their mind never rests. They are trapped inside permanent psychological hunger. The Stoics warned against this. They understood that uncontrolled desire creates suffering, because when happiness depends on external conditions, peace becomes fragile. You become emotionally vulnerable to everything: economic changes, public opinions, losses, failure, aging. But Stoicism teaches something extraordinary. You do not control the world. You control your response to it. And that changes everything. Because real power is not controlling circumstances. It is controlling yourself despite circumstances. That is true strength. A calm mind in chaos. A disciplined mind in temptation. A peaceful mind in uncertainty. And perhaps the greatest form of wealth is the ability to remain internally stable in a world designed to destabilize you. Many people spend decades climbing ladders, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. They sacrificed time with family, ignored their health, abandoned their passions, all for status symbols that eventually lost meaning. And one day, they look around and realize they became strangers to themselves. This is one of the saddest tragedies of modern life. People become so focused on building a lifestyle that they forget to build a life. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of death, not to become depressed, but to become awake, because awareness of mortality destroys illusion. Suddenly, the things society told you were important begin losing power. Petty competition, ego battles, status obsession. None of it matters in the end. And this realization can either terrify a person or liberate them completely. Because once you understand how temporary life is, you stop wasting energy trying to impress everyone. You stop living performatively. You stop chasing approval from people who are equally lost themselves. And you begin asking deeper questions. What truly matters to me? What kind of life creates peace? What kind of success is actually meaningful? These are dangerous questions, because once a person starts asking them honestly, society loses control over them. A person who no longer worships status becomes difficult to manipulate. A person who values peace over appearance becomes powerful. A person who controls their desires becomes free. And freedom terrifies systems built on emotional dependency. There is nothing wrong with ambition. The Stoics were not against achievement. They were against self-destruction. There is a massive difference between pursuing excellence and sacrificing your soul to endless ambition. One creates growth. The other creates emptiness. Healthy ambition says, I want to build something meaningful. Toxic ambition says, I need external success to feel worthy. And millions of people today are unknowingly trapped in the second mindset. They are not working from inspiration. They are working from fear. Fear of being left behind. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being enough. But fear-based ambition never creates peace. Even success feels stressful because the person becomes addicted to proving themselves. And proving yourself never ends. The Stoics believe your value already exists within your character, not your income, not your popularity, not your possessions, your discipline, your integrity, your wisdom, your self-control. These are forms of wealth nobody can steal from you. Markets crash, trends disappear, beauty fades, but character remains. And character determines whether success destroys you or strengthens you, because money amplifies who you already are. If you are internally unstable, more wealth may increase your instability. If you lack self-control, more power may increase your chaos. This is why inner mastery matters first. Without it, external success becomes dangerous. But with it, wealth becomes a tool instead of a prison. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is learning to need less, not because simplicity is trendy, but because dependence creates weakness. The more things you psychologically require to feel okay, the more fragile your happiness becomes. Think about how many people cannot feel peace without distraction anymore. Silence makes them anxious. Stillness feels unbearable. So they constantly consume content, entertainment, validation. But consumption without reflection creates emptiness. The Stoics practice voluntary discomfort for this reason. They would sometimes sleep on hard surfaces, eat simple food, lie with less temporarily. Why? To train the mind not to fear discomfort, because a person who can survive without luxury cannot be controlled by luxury. And that is true freedom. Modern society teaches people to fear inconvenience, but Stoicism teaches resilience, because resilience creates confidence. You stop panicking over temporary losses. You stop collapsing emotionally during uncertainty. You realize, I can survive difficult moments. And that realization creates inner power. A calm mind is more valuable than endless possessions, because peace allows you to enjoy life deeply, while anxiety makes even luxury miserable. At some point, every person must choose what they worship: money, status, approval, pleasure, or peace, because you cannot serve both endlessly. One eventually consumes the other. And many people do not notice this happening until it is too late. They become successful externally while collapsing internally. Their bank account grows, but their soul feels empty. Their lifestyle becomes impressive, but their mind becomes exhausted. And the tragedy is, society often celebrates them while they silently suffer. The Stoics understood that external admiration means nothing without internal harmony. Because what is the value of success? If you cannot sleep peacefully at night, what is the value of wealth? If anxiety controls your mind, what is the value of status? If you constantly fear losing it, true freedom is emotional freedom. The ability to remain grounded regardless of circumstances, to enjoy success without worshiping it, to experience loss without being destroyed by it, to live simply without shame, to live meaningfully without needing constant applause. That is power, and very few people ever achieve it, because most people spend their lives trying to control the outside world instead of mastering the inner one. Maybe the reason you feel exhausted is not because you are lazy, Maybe it is because your soul is tired of chasing things that do not truly matter. Maybe your anxiety is not weakness. Maybe it is the consequence of living disconnected from yourself. Maybe your constant restlessness comes from trying to satisfy desires that can never fully satisfy you. The Stoics believe peace becomes possible when you align your life with wisdom instead of impulse. When you stop asking, "How can I impress the world?" and start asking, "How can I live truthfully?" That question changes everything. Because truthful living often looks very different from performative success. It may look quieter, simpler, slower, but infinitely more peaceful. And perhaps this is the greatest secret nobody talks about. Many people are rich in possessions and bankrupt in peace, while others have very little materially, yet feel emotionally free. Because freedom is psychological before it's financial. And once you understand that, your relationship with money changes forever. You stop worshiping it. You start using it wisely. You stop sacrificing your soul for appearances. You start protecting your peace. And slowly, life becomes lighter. One day, your life will end. Not your schedule, not your career, your life. And in that final moment, you will not care how many strangers were impressed by you online. You will not care about status competitions. You will not care about luxury brands. You will care about whether you truly lived, whether you experienced peace, whether you loved deeply, whether you became someone you respected, and perhaps most importantly, whether you were free, not financially, internally, because internal freedom is the highest form of wealth, a mind that cannot be manipulated by fear, a spirit that does not depend on validation, a soul that remains calm despite uncertainty. That is rare. That is powerful. That is Stoic wisdom. So, if you remember anything from this conversation, remember this. Money is a tool, not an identity. Success is valuable, but not at the cost of your peace. Ambition is powerful, but only when guided by wisdom. And true freedom begins the moment you stop needing the world's approval to feel worthy. If this message spoke to you, then do not ignore that feeling, because deep down, part of you already knows the truth. You were not born merely to chase endless distractions. You were not born to spend your entire life proving your worth to strangers. You were born to live consciously, to think deeply, to master yourself, to experience peace. And in a world addicted to noise, a calm mind becomes revolutionary. So take a moment today and ask yourself honestly, what am I truly chasing? And more importantly, is it costing me my freedom? If this video helped you see life differently, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join this journey into Stoic wisdom, inner peace, discipline, and self-mastery. Because while the modern world teaches people how to earn more, very few teach people how to live better. And in the end, the richest person is not the one who owns the most. It is the one who needs the least to feel complete. Thank you for listening. And remember, protect your peace at all costs. If you're new for this channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.